and you guys see what happened. So, like I said, you cannot grab 100% correct on your homework, but you just need to put effort. But I think I'm gonna give you guys compliment as most of you guys doing homework, and that's easy, 50 points on your homework. Diego didn't do it. Diego. Um, huh? All right, so but most of you guys did try to the graph, which is this is much better than prior year before. A lot of prior year student they just finding all the information, they're not graphing. But you are struggling with the graph, but that's good because that's called constructive struggling. You try to graph as much as you can, but there was something that you didn't work out, but that's okay. So we're gonna go back and figure out how to graph all the things and how to be more specific on certain thing. Now that part is not 100%. That even you did the part like graphing like not 100% right, then you're still gonna get some type of points rather than no points at all. So we're gonna go back and look at what the question is. Hold on a second. Let me copy and paste. Oh, there it is. Which question you want me to go over? First one, sure. We're gonna go copy and I'm gonna paste here. Okay, so and we're gonna do everything else to later. Um, so let's find out what happened first one. I'm gonna try to factor as much as I can. So I think that's gonna be x minus 5 and x plus 1. Is that okay? Now if I check on slant vertical asymptote, so let me find some is any holes. So at this case, hole is none because there's no cancel factor. Domain is gonna be from negative infinity to 3 and 3 to infinity union. So that's domain. Is that okay? Um, x-intercept is gonna be set the numerator equal to 0, so it'll be 5 comma 0 again. That's a coordinate, not 5, not -1, but it's 5 comma 0, -1 0. Y-intercept, if I plug in 0 here, it's gonna give you what? -5 over -3, so it'll be 0 5 over 3, right? Did everything you guys doing okay? Vertical asymptote is x equal to 3 because the denominator equal to 0. Horizontal asymptote is none because numerator is 2 degrees higher than the bottom, or 1 degrees higher. So there's no horizontal. This is okay. Now slant asymptote is going to be long division. So I'm going to work it out. So that's going to be x squared minus 4x minus 5. And that's x minus 3. So that's x minus 3x negative. So that is going to give you 0. And this is a negative x minus 5. So -1. So it'll be negative x plus 3. That's equal to, I believe this is -8. So slant asymptote is x minus 1 rather than, so it's actually x minus 1 minus 8 over x minus 3, but only in this part is slant. Is that okay? Is that alright so far? Okay. So now I'm going to try to graph it. Vertical asymptote at 3. Slant asymptote is at x minus 1. So you're going to go here. Is that okay? Sorry, I'm going to move it a little bit here. Is that alright so far? And x-intercept is 5 0, so 5 0 is right here. and the negative 1, 0. Y-intercept is gonna be 5 over 3, so about 1.6. You good? Okay, so now the last part is what people says, are they gonna go up or go down? So remember, this part could go this way or this way, right? But first of all, they usually don't cross the slant, so probably prefer to go upward. But if I want to make sure, I plug in 2.9. Is that okay? I plug in 2.9 into here. So it will be 2.9 minus 5. 2.9 plus 1. 2.9 minus 3. I only need to pay attention to the sign. So it's negative, positive, negative. So it's equal to positive. So therefore, if you really want to write out correctly, limit x approaching 3 from the left of f of x is equal to positive infinity. Does that make sense? Limit x approaching 3 from the left is going to go to infinity. So this graph is going to go like this. And the other side is going to go toward the slant asymptote. So this side is going to go like this. And just draw arrow, keep on going up. It's never going to pass vertical asymptote. Sometimes the graph can cross slant or horizontal, but most of the time vertical is just not touchable. Okay? Now what happened to this side? This side you can probably say it's probably going to go down, but you can verify by plugging 3.1. If I plug in 3.1, it's going to be 3.1 minus 5 is negative. 3.1 plus 1 is positive. 3.1 minus 3 is going to be negative times positive times positive, right? So it's negative. So you know on this side, there is no way to go up. That's not a way. It has to go down like this. So I'm just going to go graph like this. And this is going to go toward the asymptote. So this is pretty much, this will earn you all 3 check mark. Okay, so if you graph this correctly, this will earn you all 3 check mark. And more likely this question is on the test. Very similar like this. Yes.
With this one, when you start at y equals -1, or you start at
-1 because of y equal to mx plus b. So star y-intercept is a -1. And you go up like this. Star at this point. Because the y equal to mx will be star with 0, -1 first, and then go slope like 1 over 1.
you plug in 2.9 for this. That's it.
Is this okay? I'll go over another one. So, of those 4, which one I should go over?
This one is going to be 2.6.
2x minus 18 over x squared minus x minus 6. That one's good. That one's very close to the test. Is that okay? I'll go over that one. So I'm gonna factor this. Now you have to be able to factor on the test. So that's gonna be 2x squared minus 9 over x minus 3 and x plus 2. And that's equal to 2x minus 3, x plus 3 over x minus 3 over x plus 2. Now, if I were to finding, first thing I usually find is going to be the whole. There is a whole, but there is also domain here. So domain equal to negative infinity to -2, union from -2 to 3, and 3 to infinity. That would be the domain if I were looking for domain. Now, Olivia, you says, how do I find the whole? Here is whatever cancel. The cancel factor is what the whole is. So the whole, also known as a removable discontinuity, right? Removable discontinuity. So then you're gonna say x minus 3 equal to 0, x equal to 3. Now, locate at 3. What's the y value? We're going to plug it back into the new equation. So it would be 2 times 3 plus 3 over 3 plus 2. So it'll be 2 times 6, which is 12 over 5. So roughly 2.4. So 3 comma 2.4 is where the hole is. You're gonna behave kind of like a coordinate over there, but it's a hole rather than a dot. Am I going too fast? Okay. Is any vertical asymptote here, or is any x-intercept here? Is any x-intercept? -3 is correct, because x plus 3 equal to 0, set the numerator, and x equal to -3. So it'll be -3 comma 0 rather than -3. Isaac, be a gentleman, man. Get your ass up and open the door.
I'm not like it, Mr. Ye.
Huh?
I'm not like it.
You gonna make Anna do all the work? Anna, you gotta train him to be like gentlemen. Isaac, get your butt. Yeah. There you go. Does that make sense? Okay, y-intercept. Is any y-intercept? 0, 3. Good, because I plug in 0 for x, it'll be -18 over -6, so that's equal to 3. Is that okay? What else? Vertical asymptote. X equal to -2, right? Horizontal asymptote.
Y equals
This is the same degree, so 2 over 1, right? So it's equal to y, right? Is that okay? You're finding those information, you already went most of the thing already, so. Horizontal asymptote is at 2, so I'm gonna draw a dotted line. Vertical asymptote is at where? -2? Are we going okay? Y-intercept is 0, 3. By this, you already can tell what's the graph probably gonna be like. Y-intercept is, x-intercept is gonna be -3. And the whole is at 3, comma 2.4. So it's probably right here. Most of you guys probably didn't draw that hole. How many of you guys draw that hole over there? You're doing good. So now you just have to see how they behave before -2 and 2. So this is the final equation. So it'll be 2 times x plus 3 over x plus 2. So I'm going to plug in here. X equal to what? -2.1. Is that okay? So it'll be 2 times -2.1 plus 3 over 2.1 negative plus 2. That's equal to positive over negative is equal to negative. Which is kind of makes sense. It's negative, this should go down, and this already point there. So this is already going a very good. So right here is going to go toward the asymptote right here. So they like kind of like a strong current. When you get there, the boat's kind of going to curve along the current. And then I'm going to plug in. So the correct way, you might want to write this down. On AP exam, you might see this though. It would be limit x approach 2 from the left. Is that okay? 2 from the left. It's going to be what? 2 from the left is going to be what? Negative infinity. Does that everybody make sense? On AP exam, you're going to see this. They're gonna say, hey, what happened when the x approaches 2 to the left? You're gonna pick the one with negative infinity because it's going down. Am I going too fast? Let me know if you don't understand something, because right now you can ask the last question. Is this okay? What happened when limits x approach 2 from the right? What do you think? Positive infinity? Do we know? We can try it though. We can plug in negative 1.9. So it'll be 2 times negative 1.9 plus 3 over negative 1.9 plus 2. And that's equal to positive over positive. So it's positive infinity. So this one is going to be positive infinity. So like, guess what? If you draw it out, then that's going to be like this. And there you go. That's your graph. And he did it perfectly. As whole, has everything. Is this good?
Can you do the last line again? What do you do?
Can you go over 4x over x squared minus 1?
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Four x over x minus 1. It's x squared minus 1 like this? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know what is it, so I am gonna figure out all the information. So I'm gonna factor everything. Nothing can simplify, so there's whole or remove discontinuity is gonna be none. Not applicable. Is that okay? It's not applicable. Is that okay? Domain is what? Negative infinity to negative 1. Union from negative 1 to 1. Union from 1 to infinity. X-intercept
0,
0, 0. Y-intercept 0, 0. Standpoint. Vertical asymptote is what? X equal to 1 and x equal to negative 1. Good. Horizontal asymptote? Y equal to 0. I love that. Y equal to 0. Good. Slant asymptote? None. Okay, so that we find all the informations. This one I would like to ask something. Do you think this is even or odd? It's odd, so be 4 times. So 4 times negative x over negative x squared minus 1. So it's going to be negative 4x over x squared minus 1. So it's odd. So symmetry to origin. And you know why this is going to help you a lot if it's symmetry to origin. I'm going to draw all the information. 0, 0, negative 1, and positive 1. And horizontal asymptote is here. So did I say that sometimes they can touch the horizontal asymptote? Yeah, this is one of the case. So we want to find out when limits, right here, we can write down correctly. Limit x approach to negative 1 from the left side of f of x. We don't know what is it, right? So we're going to prove it by plugging negative 1.1, right? Is that okay? Is that okay? And negative 1.1 squared minus 1. So that's going to give you negative over positive, right? So we know going this way. So you have two options. Are they here or are they here? Which one is it? The one's going to go down, right? So is that okay? What happened if, and this one's going to go negative infinity. What happened when limit x approach negative 1 from the right? What happened? This one is gonna still negative over negative 0.9 squared is gonna be negative 0. It's less than 1. So it'll be negative over negative, so it's equal to positive. So it's positive infinity. Is that okay? Is that okay? Symmetry to origin, they're gonna be opposite to this point. So they have this type of symmetry here. So it's gonna be like this. And for this one, it's gonna be symmetry like this. And there we go. That's your graph. Yes.
Can you explain how you got the R?
I plug in negative x to the x. It go back to negative original function. Then if you see this is a negative original function, then that's gonna be symmetry to origin, which is gonna have like waterfall graph like this, because this is symmetry to origin. This side is similar to this side,
Was it,
and this side is similar to this side.
is it negative X the second
Because negative x inside the square is equal to x squared. So right here it's gonna be x squared minus 1, same as before. Because you plug in negative x to x. Yes.
negative 1.1 instead of negative 1.9?
If I approach negative 1 from the left side, that means here, right? Here it has to be negative 1.1, right? If I'm getting so close to it, 0.1 away from this asymptote, it's gonna be less than 1. So it'll be negative 1.1. So if you plug in negative 1.1, that's gonna give you a negative. You can try this one too. Let's say if you plug in 0.9 here, so be 4 times 0.9 over 0.9 squared minus 1. That's not gonna be 1, right? So that's equal to positive over negative. So that's why this part is gonna go down. And if you do 4 over 1.1, 1.1 squared minus 1, this is positive over positive, so this is how it's gonna go up. So you don't need an even R function to figure out how they behave. It's gonna be like exactly how they behave here. Yeah. Think so. Yes, I was. Okay, let me give you an easy one on the test. This one's on the test as well. Be careful this one though. Be careful this one. This one everybody mess up, even though it's the easiest question. Why did everybody mess up?
Oh, you like,
Why did people mess up this one?
0 as
Oh.
minus 3. Not that.
Why did everybody mess this one up? Because I put this one on the test before, and a lot of people screw up this one.
If it's 0 has to go to 1.
Somebody say something. There's a hole,
Yeah.
but the graph is what? Nope, the graph's not slant asymptote. That's what people thought. The graph's linear. That means this is a x minus 3, x plus 2 over x minus 3. So there's no slant asymptote actually, because your new function is x plus 2. And that's what happened to people on the test. I'm like, oh my god, you messed up the easiest one. Because they start graphing asymptote and start going crazy thing. But this is a new function. That's x plus 2. So it's going to be like this. Except the whole is going to happen at 3. So it's going to be like this. And this was the one of the easiest graph that you can come up with, but everybody got it wrong. It's just a regular line with a hole on it. It's no asymptote because you have to worry about after you simplify, you worry about what you graph on the new functions.
Yo, that means you're not gonna do any of the extra work. You're gonna.
Because your new function is x plus 2.
Yeah, I see.
No, because I fell asleep.
You fall asleep.
The vertical asymptote is zero.
There is no vertical asymptote because it cancel out. It's no longer vertical asymptote because your new function, you graph the new function. Like for this one, you graph this is a new function, right? For this one, you graph this is the new function. This right here is the new function. So the x minus 3 is not a, the 3 is not a vertical asymptote. It's no longer there. It's a hole. It's replaced by a hole, but not a vertical asymptote. People is all the new denominator. But the new function is what you're trying to graph. The new function has a vertical asymptote, then that's the function that you're going to graph at vertical asymptote. In this case, the new function is just a freaking x plus 2. It's just a straight line. You graph x plus 2, and there's a hole in there. Please don't miss this one on the test. Don't miss this one. This is the easiest one I can put on the test.
Did you get that one?
I did.
Actually? It was
All right, we're going to talk about, last 12 minutes, we're going to talk about polynomial inequality. So what if you have something like this? So this is called a polynomial inequality, or actually it's called compound inequality. So compound inequality. Compound inequality is basically you have multiple things. Now here's the thing: anytime you have seen multiple terms like this, you have to do something called a number line. Yes. Sure. Is that better?
It's a little bit more today.
I'll make it bigger like this. Is that okay? Okay. So when this kind of question, you need to do a number line test. Okay? A number line test, at here, we need to find out where the point is. The point is going to be at -1. So at here, it's going to be -1. Is that okay? At 2/3. And at 4. Is that okay? And I'm going to place this negative. I'm going to place the negative sign here. I'm going to place the 3x minus 2 here. I'm going to place x plus 1 here. I'm going to place x minus 4 here. Huh?
Yeah, I forgot.
Okay, so the negative sign is going to contribute to all the sign throughout the whole number line. This negative sign's all the way through. It's not hard. It's very easy. Now, I'm going to plug in something less than -1 to the first parenthesis. I'm going to plug in -2 into 3x minus 2. What kind of sign am I going to get? -2. What? Yep, negative. If I plug in -2 plus 1, it's going to be what? No. Diego trying to...
Wait, dude, so how come? Why is 3x running to negative?
If I plug in -2 for the 3x, it'll be -6 minus 2, so it'll be negative. -2 minus 4 is gonna give me negative. Is that okay? So if you two negative sign, that's positive. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Between -1 to 2/3, what's the best number to plug in? 0. So I'm going to get negative, positive, negative, right? So it's going to be negative. Is that good? Between 2/3 to 4, I'm going to plug in, let's say 1. 1's going to be positive, positive, negative, so it's going to be positive. I'm plugging 5, so it's going to be positive, 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 negative. So guess what? I'm going to answer the last part of the question. The question says greater than 0. So that means I'm looking for positive region. Make sure you write this down, positive region. So it'll be negative infinity to -1. Is that okay? It's going to be a parenthesis from 2/3 over 4, like this, union. But not including 4 because 4 is going to equal to 0. So that's the answer. But if it's less than 0, you look for the negative region. You guys follow me?
Is it negative?
What?
Like a negative region?
-1. So I'm going to show you. Yeah. So let's say -0 here equal to 0. 2x minus 1, x plus 2 over x minus 5, like this. Now, see, at here it's still all the things that even though it's dividing, it's still times because it times by something. So it's still dividing or multiplying, they are the same exact way. Except this one has some plot twist to it, so you gotta be careful with this one.
Hey, what you think about Naruto?
What do I think about what? What?
Naruto.
Naruto? I like Naruto. Who's your favorite character?
Wait, what?
I watched Naruto.
My favorite character? I think Rock Lee, because he
I
went
like him
to-
too.
And he reminds me of me.
You remind me of who?
Me.
You remind me of me.
No, he reminds me of me.
I like Shikamaru.
Oh, that's the other one. Never mind. I like you more. Never mind. What up?
Yeah.
Big writer right there, but no.
Huh?
I go to my class again. My last two years, I forgot.
Okay.
But you like him because he's super smart, right?
Yeah, I mean he has a weird way. He think outside the box.
But he's lazy.
What?
But he's lazy.
Yeah. I will say that. So I'm gonna start at -2. 1/2 and 5. Do you guys know where I get that number from? I just take each parenthesis I solve for it. Is that okay? Now I'm gonna plug in, so -3, negative, right? -3, negative, negative is negative. Is that okay? And I plug in 0 is negative, negative, positive. Is that okay? If I plug in 1, it's gonna be positive, negative, positive, negative. And if I plug in 6 is positive, 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 positive. So the answer is where?
Infinity to negative 1.
So infinite is looking for what? Look for what?
That's
Negative vision, right? Negative, which is less than 0. But it's going to be negative infinity to what?
negative 2.
-2. Is that including -2?
Yes.
Yes. But is it including 1/2? Is it including 5? No. Do you guys know why it's not including 5? Because you cannot divide it by 0. So this can including, this can including, this is not including. Because 5 is on denominator. So 5 is on denominator is not including. Now, how do you check your answer? Now, if you check your answer, you're gonna graph this. You're gonna look for the thing. So 2x minus 1, so decimal. So on the AP exam, that if you wanted to do it really quick without problem, what was it? 2x minus 1, right? And what else? And then x plus 2? And then divide by what? X minus 5? So you're looking for the negative region, right? So negative region all the way is below x-axis. You see all those below x-axis? Negative infinity to negative 2, it's fine. And from 0.5 to 0.5 to whatever. 0.5 to I don't know what a value is, but it's anything 0.5 to the vertical asymptote here. I don't know what's a vertical asymptote. I think it's 5. Yeah. So it'll be, but it's not including 5 because the 5 is a vertical asymptote. It's basically you're looking for the negative region of the graph, so you can tell that's gonna be less than 0. Does that make sense? So on AP exam, you need to be able to interact with this knowledge, because less than 0, that means you're looking for less than 0. We good?
It's less than or equal to 0. So if you equal to the value, that when under, if it's under, you can like have a fraction value that's under 5. So they're always gonna stop. No, it's gonna stop at 5. So it's never gonna touch 5.
I think you gotta take it for each one. It's not like they would probably fit line.
I don't like the pins, like, but we have like the vertical asymptote.
No,
Because
not possible. Because if you cancel out, the whole is gonna be in place.
minus 5.
So
Why did it include?
This reason of the graph.
To the question before we did this one was like, how like the graph would be a graph would be different.
but if you parentheses because this is greater than, that means not including 0.
So they would all be parentheses.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, accurate, but everyone still. It's fine. Let's watch it.